internet connection was not fast enough. I wonder if I should bring an Ethernet cable. I think I got an Ethernet cable I could put out that window and stretch over here. Should I do that? Nobody's here yet. Hey folks, how's the stream quality? If it's bad, I'm gonna grab an Ethernet cable and run that motherfucker out my window, cross the yard, and put it right here. What's going on, everybody? I'm streaming everywhere right now, and I can bring your comments on the screen, and we're gonna do an Ask Me Anything. Cause I'm not doing any work today. I've been working every day. Got my homemade pumpkin spice coffee. This moment is more precious than you think. I wonder if the quality is bad. What's going on? A lot of folks here. No comments. Say what's up if you can see me. Hang on, let me go get my Ethernet cable. It's coming, folks. Hang on. That was me. My bad. I'm about to destroy my whole setup. I'm coming, folks. Holy shit, that was hilarious. Oh man, anybody stay? Anybody stayed? What up, what up, what up? I had to go get my Ethernet cable. Did y'all watch to see if any flies landed on my coffee? All right, let's see if I can connect this without losing the stream. Who said am I a druid? Good morning. I wonder how many people I lost while I was going to get this Ethernet cable. Shout out to all the super chats that came up. Good morning, Vicky. On Amy Connett Barrett being the woman on Trump's list. I don't know anything about her, so I gotta look her up. Your connection Somebody said something about your connection is fine, bro. Oh, I had already, man, I done went and got my Ethernet cable, took it out my room. My country ass, I done cut a little hole in my screen and stuck it out. I'm so extra. What up, what up, what up? Oh, all kind of comments. Okay. Looking good on Facebook. Cool, cool. Hello from Canada, Margaret. I see you. How are you? Um, let's see who we got from where. We got some folks from Twitter. What it do? Quality is fine. Paul said I lost him at going to get a cable. Paul, it's what it is, bro. Can't keep everybody. Empty chair. I was doing that was my impersonation of, you know what's funny? Like, I've got it connected now, and I don't even think I turned it on. So I did all that for nothing. I'm just doing, still on Wi Fi. I'm not the smartest bear. Um, Anita Blake, if you don't mind posting a link in the chat, and I'll go check out who she is. Who, something tells me there was a fly on this cup at some point. We are going to have to fight dirty over on Twitter. I mean, on YouTube. We are. Um, Nice yard. It actually looks a lot bigger than it is, but I say it's pretty small. But I sit out here whenever the sun is out. I sit out here for hours and just like if I'm researching a story, I'll sit out here and do it. What's up, everybody? So yeah, this is the AMA. So just ask me anything. And here's the first question I see. Do you think Bernie and Elizabeth Warren could do more to help Biden win? Let me pull this down so it's not on my face. I think they're willing to do whatever Biden's team want them to do. So, could they do more? Probably, but I think they would do more. I think that's up to Biden's team. Elisa said we tried to tell you, but I was gone already. See, when I walked away, there was two people in here. So I said I got enough time. But then, like, I knocked down one of my lights, scared my kids. I'm just that dude that does extra, do the most. It is finally. It was raining for. This is. I'm sorry. I need to put it on the screen. This is Cassandra from Facebook. Hey, what's up with the weather? Beautiful there. Um, First day of sunshine in a week and a half. So I'm happy to be sitting outside drinking my Karen coffee, which is the official coffee of the Karen season, which is pumpkin spice, uh, sugar free, and decaffeinated because I'm already a hyper dude. So for people on Facebook, this is just like really, we're not gonna do anything but chill here. I know y'all are used to like on Facebook, you got to put on a show, you got to do a performance, a song and dance, you got to have a script. I hung out with the folks on Twitch this morning. Do me a favor, everybody, open up another window and go follow me on Twitch. I'm trying to hit some goals over there. I only have like 159 people who are dope. Love all y'all. But go to Twitch and follow me on Twitch. Facebook is giving me a hard time. Facebook has like blacklisted me or something for my video content. They let me share all the memes in the world. Like my memes could go 25,000 shares, but my videos get like 5 shares or some craziness. Like, and it just started happening on Thursday. So I'm gonna start moving all my video stuff over to Twitch. All right, let's go some more questions. When can I sub to you? But well, this is the King Calypso on Twitch wants to know when he can sub on Twitch. I have to hit a couple of goals. I'm brand new to Twitch. I'm only 2 weeks in on Twitch, and one of the goals is I have to stream for about 3 more hours. I might get that out the way today. So later on today, I'm not. Later on the day, I'm gonna run another mile, and I'm gonna run it on Twitch. So come over there and check me out on Twitch. I got shit to do. We're in quarantine. Normally, I would be either at church or at a brunch, somewhere smoking a hookah. My kids are chilling. My wife is chilling. So I'm like, let me talk to my friends on the internet. So if it's like, Ben, you ain't got nothing to do, I don't. I really, really don't. So later on today on Twitch exclusively, you're gonna see me get to run a mile and see how hard it is for a person 40 who's still overweight to make it a whole mile. I probably, if you push me hard enough, I'll go a mile and a half. And so I got to do 3 more hours of streaming on Twitch before you can sub to me. Hello from upstate. I see you. Memphis is in the house. Las Vegas is in the house. Betty, it's nice to be seen. I can drop, if somebody want to join the conversation and you're not a troll, hit me up on Skype, The Benjamin Dixon Show. I can pull somebody in the conversation. Video. Please have on clothes. Please. Louisiana's in the house. Let me open up Skype so that if people call, I can include you. Michael, rest in power, Michael Brooks. Well, I wasn't ready to see that, man, but thank you for that. Your yard's a great smoke spot. This is where I used to come out and look at the stars. I probably should talk about that kind of stuff, huh? My kids used to always ask, what am I doing in the backyard? I used to always say, I'm looking at the stars. So I figure I need to buy a telescope, right? I haven't bought one yet. But yeah, to the person, Kion said it's a good place to smoke. It is. Thank you for It's a Beautiful Scenery. I'm trying to catch up. These are a little delayed. Detroit is in the house. Somebody said something about establishment talking points. I don't know. Get out of the sun glare. Okay. How do I do that? Which way should I go? This way? That better? Here we go. We got a real question. Hey Dixon, about the Supreme Court yesterday, I saw someone say that Obama could have said, "Okay, Republicans waive this Supreme Court nominee," and just gotten his nominee in. Then we would have Merrick Garland. Obama would have had to basically make a recess or a lame duck appointment, and that's what Republicans are now going to do. Let me say this about President Obama. President Obama has entirely too much respect and concern and deference for American institutions. He would not bend the American institutions in the goddamn fly in the way that I got to drink off of this side now. I ain't let my Karen coffee go. He had the utmost. He respected the American institutions more than a progressive agenda. He would never have broken institutional norms like that. I don't say that as if it's a good thing. I actually think he should have said to hell with institutional norms. Let's do the right thing. There's a significant difference, but Obama always erred on the side of sticking within normal protocols. What time is it? 11:200. Okay, so no calls yet. Somebody said we must get rid of Nancy Pelosi. Dean Goldstein, I'm in Boston, Massachusetts. It's a big area. Thank you, Seafields, for adding me on Twitch. How can I be a good ally in a predominantly white rural area? I can't tell you. I can't honestly answer that because I don't know what area you're in. Two, I don't want to pump you up to go and do a whole bunch of crazy stuff. Three, you got to do what's right for you. But then four, if you're concerned about how to be a good ally, chances are you're already doing it. So keep doing what you're doing. Yeah, that's a good answer. Do I think Biden should give us Medicare for all? Absolutely, hell yeah. Is he going to do it? Absolutely, hell no. Should he? Yes. We need it. I need it. It wasn't until, funny story, I tell you the truth. I know I'm streaming to a lot of places and not just Twitch. I tell Twitch a lot of stuff I don't tell other people. But me and my wife in January were like New Year's Eve. We did a podcast together, and I had completely forgotten to file for Obamacare, and it was like 12 minutes before Obamacare, before midnight struck, and so I, in a hurry, tried to fill it out, and I had already done the preliminary stuff, so it wasn't that bad. Then I got the bill, how much it was going to cost me a month. It was going to cost me $600 a month. And so me and my wife, we just looked at each other. We said, we just got to take our odds. We got to take our chances. We can't afford it. In January, we could not afford $600 a month. Hell, we still can't afford $600 a month, but it's more reasonable now. And what it took for me to be potentially able to afford health care for my family, what it required was for me to take down Michael Bloomberg, a 1 in a billion shot to take out Michael Bloomberg. And because I did that, I got a whole lot of patrons and finally was able to have a normal, healthy, financially reasonably stable life and could possibly afford some health care. I said all that to say that's not what it should take for people to be able to get goddamn health care in America. You feel me? So yes, we should have Medicare for all. Think of it this way. Why should businesses be able to make profit, literally profit, off of somebody with fighting cancer, leukemia, HIV, fighting sicknesses, diabetes? Why are companies able to profit off the most miserable time in an individual's life? That's sociopathic. All right. I need my own emojis for Twitch. I don't know. How do I do emojis on Twitch? I'm new to Twitch. I'll figure it out. Everybody hit the like button and let's cross-pollinate. If you're on Facebook, go to YouTube. If you're on YouTube and you mess with Facebook, go to Facebook. If you're on those two platforms and you don't use the other platform at all, go follow me on Twitter. And most of all, everybody, go follow me on Twitch. And I'll keep reading your questions. Pennsylvania in the house. Anima says she discovered me in a podcast link yesterday, followed you yesterday on Twitter. Do you follow back? Yeah, I mean, I don't all the time. I'm honestly not on. Every question you ask me is a long story. So maybe I can knock out these 3 hours that I need to stream for Twitch because I just talk so goddamn much. My hand is shaking. What the fuck is that about? I used to be a follow snob. I wouldn't follow people back because I wanted to have a nice ratio because I guess that used to be important on Twitter. After about 3 years of that, I was like, fuck it. I'm not here. I just wanted to connect with people. So I started following everybody who followed me. That's not a smart strategy either. So now if I have an authentic engagement with somebody, if you make me laugh or I make you laugh, I'm following you. Instant follow. You're looking great, Ben. Keep it up. Yeah, I just don't know, man. I've struggled with my weight my entire fucking life. When I was skinny in high school, I could run a mile in like 6, 7 minutes, whatever. Nothing spectacular, but I was in good shape. I was in marching band. It was a black marching band. And the reason that matters is because, you know, in the black marching bands, you high step, you dance, you play. So we were in just as much shape as the football players in any. And I was slim. I think I weighed every bit. I was 5'7", and I weighed every bit of 145, 150 pounds. And I thought I was fat. So I've always had a issue with my weight. So losing these, I've lost 62 pounds. It's been healthy. It's been emotionally healthy to finally, because I've been fighting that shit for 10 years since I've been married. I went from 191 up to 268. And now I'm back down to 200. So thank you for saying it. Bro, I just shared you on a few black groups because I thought you were... Oh, I'm sorry, man. I put it in the title. I said a Sunday morning vibe. Ask me anything. Sorry, folks. I got plenty of other videos where I'm speaking truth to power. It's Sunday. I normally would be playing some Frankie Beverly and Maze. Barbecue, and I would be at a brunch if it wasn't for COVID. But it's just a Sunday vibe. Or in church. One or the other. Here's a question. Do you think we should expect nothing for our votes? Again, no disrespect, Ben. Just asking. I don't think that's a disrespectful question. I think you need to vote whatever and however your conscience, however it's going to make you sleep well at night. Period. In the conversation. Should we expect something for our vote? Absolutely. Are we in a very bad position where we're having to choose between a neo-fascist and a neoliberal? Yes. Does that effing suck more than anything else that I've had to deal with in 2020, second to COVID-19 itself? The fact that we are in a position in this country where we're having to choose between a neoliberal and a neo-fascist. And I do believe that there's a fundamental difference between the two. I'm not a part of that group who thinks that they're the same. They're not the same. But just the fact that we have to choose between those two sucks. But we do have to choose. I do. And for me, what makes me sleep well at night is the fact that I'm doing everything I can to get Donald Trump out of office. If for you, this is no slam, I'm dead serious about this. If for you, the thing that makes you sleep well at night is holding the line and saying, I refuse to vote for Joe Biden, I don't agree with you. But I'm not coming at you. You do what you feel like is best. Sam, is the left too naive about the limits of economic appeals when dealing with a racist country? I've seen takes about how AOC could win in places like Ohio with her populist ideas. No, I think the left isn't naive in that way. I think the left is not naive in other ways. When it comes to the only question that matters when it comes to economic issues is, will a voter overcome their bigotry to vote for their best economic interest? That's the thing. Will populist talking points resonate in Ohio? Hell yeah. Will it resonate enough for her to overcome the bigotry that exists across the country, right? The sexism that exists, the racism that exists, the xenophobia that exists across the country? I don't know. I don't know. Depends on how good her campaign is. Comment on Mitch rushing the court appointment and they can't rush Jack on stimulus. That's what they do. I'm assuming you pronounce that B. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. And what I'm going to do, folks, because I know I'm behind, I'm going to skip the next couple of comments and go all the way down to the most recent comment because I want to be able to keep up with you in real time. Hypocrisy is the point for conservatives, literally. It is a tool. You can't explain it to them because they already know what they're doing. They know they're being hypocritical. That's the point. The point is to bend and break the rules as much as they have to in order to get political power. So the fact that he's rushing it is exactly what I fully expected. Here's the thing. This is what people need to know. Don't wait ever on conservatives to appeal to their greater humanity. Do they have a greater humanity? Yes, we all do. But conservatives have mastered the art of suppressing that so that they can get political power. They have no regard for civility. They have no regard for norms and institutions, rules and regulations. They don't give a shit about that. Those are just hurdles to their political power. So if they have to lie, cheat, steal, kill, whatever they got to do to get power, they would do it. And if liberals, I'm talking to liberals because my communist friends and my socialist friends, I don't think they have this problem. Liberals, love you, mean it, check me out. If you are waiting on conservatives to do the right thing, you've already lost. And you'll continue to lose. And you'll be sitting in front of a fascist firing squad wondering if the executioner is ever going to come to his senses and do the right thing. No. They will plow right over you the second they get a chance. And that's exactly what Mitch McConnell is doing. That's exactly what I knew he was going to do. And that's what President Obama should have assumed Mitch McConnell was going to do. He should have known that in 2016. And so if Democrats don't start playing hardball in the same fashion as Republicans, we're going to find ourselves sitting in front of a firing squad wondering if maybe the Republicans can be appealed to, their greater humanity can be appealed to while they're loading their guns to shoot us. My communist and socialist friends, I think they got that. They understand that pretty clearly. And so they're going to strike first. All right, let me skip down. I'm sorry I'm missing a lot of questions, but I just want to get to the bottom. Stephen Harris, thank you, my brother. Um, Distracted by the backyard. You know what's beautiful though? What's great? Did somebody call? Did I get a Skype call? No, I didn't. Okay. Hang on, let me get back to you guys so I can see you. There is an accidental, like I don't know if it's a natural growing rose bush, but every 2 months there's a blossom, a rose, like eight rose blossoms, and for Mother's Day, I think it was this year. The blossoms were perfect because we were in COVID-19. I wasn't going out to get no flowers. I was able to pick them off of here and give them to my wife for Mother's Day. Worked out. Uh, it's about political power because they're not in the majority, right? They're not in the majority in this country. Only one election out of the last 7 elections have Republicans won the majority vote out of the electorate. 1 out of 7. And so we're being dominated by a very vocal, very violent, very Machiavellian political minority. They give the impression that they are in the majority, but they are most certainly in the minority. But they manipulate the rules, they bend it, break it, they have no regard for anything other than power. They will kill us. I know that sounds dramatic. Donald Trump sent someone to kill Michael Reinhold. I keep saying in Portland, Oregon. It was actually in Washington State. But for the sake of people understanding the story and connecting everything to where it happened, I'm going to keep saying Portland, Oregon. Michael Reinhold was a leftist. He was a comrade, and he defended himself. He ended up killing somebody in self-defense. President Trump sent federal agents over there and killed him. The man had no weapon, had nothing, just his person. I think they said he had some candy, a bag of candy. It's bad enough that they killed him, but Donald Trump has been bragging about it on national television and saying that that's the model of what should be done. So when I say they will kill us for political expediency, Donald Trump has demonstrated that literally. So they will bend every rule, break every norm, every institution, be hypocritical, lie, steal, cheat. They are Machiavellian in the strictest definition of the word, even to the point where they will kill us for political expediency. And liberals, I love you, but y'all got to know the score, because I'm not going to sit around and let these mother kill me. We get them first. Let's go. They thought Hillary was going to win in 2016. Important point. I think she's answering, Dominique, I think she's answering the issue of why Barack Obama didn't make a recess appointment. They thought Hillary was going to win. Baby, don't ever count your eggs before they hatched. Speaking of counting eggs before they hatch, I got excited because over the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks, I've been dominating on Facebook. Facebook videos been going viral. Facebook started monetizing videos. I started making a little change on Facebook. And as soon as I hit a peak, I'm like, boom, I'm in here. I could pay my bills. Man, Facebook cut my shit off so quick this weekend. I think I made $8 this weekend. It has nothing to do with the Supreme Court, but it has everything to do with don't count your eggs before them things hatch. Don't count your chickens before they hatch. Because the Republican Party will pull the American people will pull the carpet from underneath you and elect somebody like Donald Trump. And Facebook will say, nah, we can't let that nigga make that much money. And they pull the plug on me. So go follow me on Twitch, because Facebook tripping. Let's see what else y'all got. Ryan McKenzie said there's zero leadership from the Democrats. We are in a crackdown and we are playing patty cake. Come on, man. Hero worshiping someone who didn't want to give black president a justice. I don't think I have anything to add to that. I think that's spot on. I think he wants to relax and chill and chat. That's exactly what I want to do. That's so true. That was my question. Pelosi mentioned impeaching Barr and Trump and tying up the Senate. Now, I have a really strange relationship with Nancy Pelosi in terms of my opinion of her. I don't know her. I don't know her personally. There was a time where I criticized Nancy Pelosi, but then I saw some valuable traits in Nancy Pelosi. And then I saw Nancy Pelosi went about that life. And then I start criticizing her again. Listen, I moved once. That glare is back. I'm not moving again. Okay. So I didn't like Nancy Pelosi. Then I liked Nancy Pelosi. Then I didn't like Nancy Pelosi again. But I'm going to put this comment back on the screen. Pelosi mentioned impeaching Barr or Trump and tying up the Senate. I would like Nancy Pelosi again if she did that. Come on with it. Come with it, Nancy. Please. I won't delete all my nasty tweets about you because I'm just not going to do that. But I will say some positive things about you. And I will take all the criticism that comes from leftist circles about, saying something positive about a neoliberal. I'll eat that. Because we got to play hardball. Never mind the fact that Barr and Trump both have done repeatable impeachable offenses. Right? So it is the moral thing to do. It is the just thing to do, but it's also the politically Machiavellian thing to do. You gotta fight fire with fire. You can't play patty cake with these monsters. Question from Jonathan. Now, Jonathan, if I'm not mistaken, my friend Jonathan here, he's home team. Like, he's from town in Mississippi that I grew up with. So I'm pretty sure that's the case. What's up, home team? When are the Dems going to grow some balls and actively play hardball with conservatism? This is even worse. Shit. Let me sit here. All right. We're back. Y'all can see my little trampoline. Y'all see how small my yard is. Get off my goddamn coffee. I actually hardwired in. I said, let me take a second. I got to pressure wash my house, so let me turn this just a little bit right there. Just enough for you not to see how bad it is. Okay. Woo! I'm here. Just pulling up my pants so my ass cheeks ain't hanging out. So when I said my backyard is small, y'all see how these damn trampoline take up the whole backyard. I apologize. I was wondering why we were losing so many people. I mean, I wasn't worried about it, but all right. So I was in something good actually. We were talking about before we oh, that's not my yard back there. That's the neighbor's yard. My yard ends at the other side of this trampoline. This is where my yard ends. So the last person asked me about okay, I'll answer this in 2 seconds. Which show is most fun to guest host? The Majority Report, the Damage Report, or TYT? They're all the same. I like hosting with John Iodorolo. Me and John I think we're like in the same age group. We're kind of like in the same stage of life, and like we just have a really good chemistry. Like we interrupt each other all the time, and it's really fun. But I like doing all the shows. Kevin said his yard is bigger than his house. I could rock with that though. That's not a bad thing. Here, let me answer the question because I know some people come to my channel for deep stuff. So let me finish answering the question of the intolerance paradox. And if Democrats, this was a question they posed, if Democrats behave the same way and fight as dirty as Republicans, does that make us indistinguishable or undistinguishable from Republicans? And I said, no, it doesn't. The fact is that we have to be willing to fight as hard and as dirty for the right thing as Republicans are willing to fight for the wrong thing. And I want to be sure it's not an issue that is partisan, right? There are things that I'm going to fight just as dirty against the Democratic Party as they have fought against progressives. But I'm going to leave that alone until November 4th. Between now and November 4th, all of my best criticisms, I do my best work criticizing Democrats. I'm putting all that to the side because I know of how important it is for us to get rid of Donald Trump. But this is a good time as any. I got 442 people who are in the room. I just let you know, if you follow me because you enjoy my work criticizing Donald Trump, I'm really good at it, but I criticize Democrats better. I'm just not doing it between now and November 4th because we got to get rid of Donald Trump. Win, lose, or draw. Win, lose, or draw. Democrats going to catch this smoke on November 4th because I need Medicare for all. We all need it. So I just want you to know, got 500 people now, so the word should be able to get out. If you followed me, because like I got all these viral videos, anti-Trump viral videos. This is just it's just a respite, right? I understand the score, and I think other people should understand the score. Donald Trump is a unique threat to our democracy. He's really, like AOC put it perfectly, if voting for Joe Biden is helping our democracy live to fight another day. That's what I'm doing. So, but November 4th, it's on. All right, let's get the rest of y'all comments. Oh, mashed potato says I'm fake. All right, man, cool. You totally need to guest on TYT's Old School. I think you and Ben would have a fun pair to watch. I would love to. Oh, mashed potato says it several times. He says you're fake. You're fake. Oh, my feelings are hurt. They really are. Regressives are controlled opposition to the Democratic establishment. Okay. Go on one. Oh, this is it. This is it. Okay. He's a conservative. Sounds like he's a black conservative. Go on one-on-one with Ben Shapiro. Listen. Listen. Y'all tweet at Ben Shapiro. Now, I know there's wisdom in not talking shit. There's wisdom in moving in silence. I generally like to move in silence, which is one of the reasons that you'll discover in about whenever coronavirus is over, you will really discover the real reason that I lost weight and have been down there boxing every goddamn day, because I'm moving in silence. I got some promises to keep, and I ain't talking about it online. It's going to be about it when this is over, because you got to move in silence. You can't just run your mouth. When you run your mouth, you lose. All that to say, I wish Ben Shapiro would try to go one-on-one with me. I will level his high nasally pitch voice, nonsensical, wannabe philosopher ass out. Period. Ben Shapiro does not want the smoke with Ben Dixon. And I'll put that out there to anybody, anytime, any place. I will take Ben Shapiro down in the first round. You think Ben Shapiro's smart? Anyway, let me ask the rest of y'all questions. Okay. Oh, this is a great question, I think. I only read the first part. The Benjamin Nick Show. Do you ever get annoyed with international leftists who think they know what's going on in the U.S.? I've seen you had some disagreements with Glenn Greenwald on Twitter. I think no, I don't get annoyed with them thinking they know what's best for the U.S. because we do the same thing. Like, I give plenty of commentary on what's going on in the U.K. Really in Syria. It's really where I do most of my international running my mouth. I give limited commentary on what's going on in China. And they think the same thing about us. They think we should mind our business because we don't have any place to speak about international issues, particularly because we're seated in the seat of empire here in the United States. So how are we as leftists in the United States, who have the privilege of being inside of the safety zone of American empire, while America is droning the world? How can we give commentary on them? So I don't get upset with them giving commentary on us. But you mentioned Glenn Greenwald. Glenn is an expat. Like he's I mean, I don't care where you live. It's like, he has just as much right to comment on the United States as anyone else, regardless of where he lives. Let's see. Anima said, it's no longer politics. It is a moral obligation to vote for Biden. I've been saying this all morning because this is like my fourth stream because I've got nothing else to do. And I'm not going to, normally on Sunday, I'll be making videos and putting them out on YouTube and Facebook and trying to hit that algorithm so I can, build this company. But I'm not doing that today. I'm chilling. The sun is out. And all day today, I've been streaming and saying the same thing over and over again. That's everybody's choice to make. My choice has been made. I'm voting for Joe Biden because I think Donald Trump is a unique threat. I think we can actually see the demise of our democracy in our lifetime if Donald Trump gets a second term. That's my moral imperative. Other people have made other decisions, and that's their prerogative. I think ultimately you got to do what's going to help you sleep at night. What's going to help me sleep at night is knowing that I did everything that I could to help preserve American democracy for a little while longer for my children, which means we got to get rid of Donald Trump. That's my personal moral imperative. What do you think are the chances are violent? What do you think the chances are of violence from the left should Trump win again, even if as legitimately as possible? You don't really see. It's not that leftists can't be violent, because clearly we can. Okay. But we're not in the era of left-wing violence, no matter what they try to say. We got one body count. The left in America has a single body count, and that was the person that Michael Reinhold killed in self-defense. He didn't get his day in court because Donald Trump sent federal agents to kill him. But leftists generally in this dispensation of America, we're not the ones who start violence. For the groceries? What time is it now? Oh, I'm gonna be here for a little while. Can you pick them up? You got to do whatever. Oh, you just leave them in there. They'll be fine. Okay, I'll figure it out. I'm making eggs. You making eggs? Come say hello to everybody. Uh-oh. You don't see anybody? I don't see any. Say hello. I gotta go on the trampoline. No, you gotta get this too cold for the trampoline. All right. Go. Okay, I get it. Go. So anyway, the violence isn't coming from the left in America. It hasn't probably since the 60s. Let's be real. You have not seen any meaningful violence from the left. So no, I don't think there will be violence if Donald Trump wins a second term. I think the violence will come from right-wing militias who look at a victory in Donald Trump as their signal that they can gallivant across the country in their big pickup trucks and waving their American flag, trying to suppress everyone else's rights. That's where the violence is coming from. The FBI Director Wray said as much. Department of Homeland Security said the same thing. The violence in this country, the violent threat in this country comes from right-wing militias. So I'm not worried about left-wing violence. The violence that you will get from us will be in self-defense. But I'm not a pacifist by any measure. And this is not to slam pacifists. I appreciate them. They have their place. But I am not one. You try to kill me, I'm going to kill you first. And it's not because I'm a badass. It's because I got kids. You think I'm not going to... You think I won't? Come on. I'm not a badass. I'm just a dad. Let's keep going. What else you got? If Mitch McConnell fills the Supreme Court seat, will it turn out more opposition voters? Yes, that's why they're not going to do it before the election. They certainly won't do it before the election. They're going to do it in the lame duck session. That's when they're going to do it. And I don't really believe Susan Collins. I don't believe her saying that she's not going to support it. You can only Charlie Brown me and Lucy so many times. You can only snatch the football away from me so many times. So I think that they're going to make that appointment. And I think the appropriate response, no questions asked, no apologies, no hesitation, the appropriate response to that is to, as soon as, I don't care if it takes if Donald Trump gets reelected again and we survive, I don't care if it takes 4 years. The minute the Democrats have control of the House, the Senate, and the White House, we need to pass legislation immediately expanding the judiciary. Immediately. Flood the court with progressive judges. Wow, I got way behind. Student loan forgiveness? Absolutely. What do you mean, nope? You're right, Ben. Just like the group of armed bunch at Lansing Capitol last week. I missed the Lansing march, but the most famous one was Charlottesville, where they killed Heather Heyer. Right? If you look at the body count of the right in this country, they are the threat, and this is when they win. They won in 2016. And what did they do? They armed up and they marched across the country shouting, Jews will not replace us. They went around the country with tiki torches and their guns. They ran over protesters. That's their new thing. They run over the protesters or they shoot you with their AK, with their AR-15. And this is when they won. So what does that tell you? It's not about just political power. It's about asserting their dominance over society. It's with conservatives, it is literally never about their own personal freedoms as a normal human being would define their personal freedoms. I define my personal freedom as what I have control over my own life with. Like my freedom to marry who I want to marry, my freedom to raise my children however I want to raise my children, so long as I'm not harming my children, right? My freedom to participate in politics at whatever level I can aspire to. That's not how they define freedom. If they defined freedom that way, then when they won, then they would have just engaged politically and utilized the power that they had politically. That wasn't enough. When they won, they got all the torches and they came out to dominate society screaming, Jews will not replace us. Their definition of liberty is how they can restrict our rights. Their definition of freedom is how they can restrict our liberties. And if we get their boots off of our necks and we are able to make decisions for ourselves that they disagree with, to them, that's oppression. Oppression to people like Tom Cotton is the fact that a woman has the right to do with her body something that he doesn't approve with. He sees that as oppression. So they are the real threat. I don't care what nobody says. Yeah. Interesting right wingers in $80,000 trucks, right? You're so oppressed. You're able to take, I don't know, a week off of work, get in your $80,000 truck, gallivant across the country with your AR-15 just so that you could fight against the oppressive nature of people trying to keep the police from shooting black folks. We got Georgia in the house. Catherine, absolutely. We got to make America right, the world right for our kids. KB doesn't believe Susan Collins either. She shouldn't. Let's catch up. Let's catch up. Let's catch up. I like Jeremy, what he said. Their fear-driven ideology requires domination to survive. Very well, very succinct sentence. Their fear-driven ideology requires domination to survive. And if they are not able to dominate, that equates to oppression to them. When the oppressor can no longer oppress, they feel as though they have been oppressed. Florida's in the house. Baby. Puerto Rico in the house. What up, what up? Another person from Georgia, North Carolina. Anthony, you are witnessing the fascist takeover of America by Donald Trump. I agree. And he has plenty of co-conspirators, people who are complicit with it, namely William Barr, Attorney General William Barr. He is complicit with Donald Trump's takeover of America because he views the role of the Attorney General to be one that emboldens and empowers and uses propaganda to justify an imperial presidency. Two things. I'm not talking about imperialism in terms of globally, because we've always had an imperial presidency in that regard. Every president has been an imperialist on the global stage. I'm talking about domestically, a president that cannot be challenged by the will of the people, but who is protected by a small group of fascists. That's what William Barr supports, and that's why I believe he is one of the most dangerous people in America. He's more dangerous than Donald Trump because Donald Trump is a moron, but he has someone who's actually smart, William Barr, behind him in a very critical position, making the Department of Justice someone that answers to Donald Trump versus answering to the American people. I'm drinking my Karen coffee. It's pumpkin spice latte, sugar free, caffeine free. Ron says, Glenn Greenwald and his ilk are useful, but they aren't our friends. They've already proven they'll sell us down the river to Tucker Carlson. Whenever I talk about Glenn, I always start with the caveat that I like Glenn. I like him as a person. I've actually done work with Glenn at The Intercept. I did some shows for them years ago. If you go back and look at that and see how big I was on that, I still have the blazer I wore on that series. And I could get 3 of me in that blazer right now. But I digress. I start with the caveat that I like Glenn. I think Glenn is a good faith actor 9 times out of 10. It's that 1 time out of 10 that really worries me. And he probably feels the exact same way about me. He probably feels like I don't engage in good faith on that 1 time out of 10. And one of those things that I disagree with him on is the willingness to work with people like Tucker Carlson, because Tucker Carlson to me is a white supremacist, period. So I agree with that sentiment. Let's see what else we got. Ben, I have taken your advice to get involved, and I am the chair of my DSA chapter. Thanks for being a political mentor of mine. Hey, man, congratulations on being the chair. I think that's dope. Thank you for doing that. And yeah, good luck to you. Let's go. Let's see. I think Biden voters are, this is LW, I think Biden voters are leaving him too much room to keep from campaigning on Democratic issues. He's too busy talking like Republicans. I think I think you're right, and I think it's absolutely dangerous. Bastel said, man, does Pelosi suck? Again, I think we got disconnected between that last stream and this one. I didn't like Pelosi. Then I saw her fight really hard. This is when I liked Pelosi. And I've said a lot of good things about her during this particular period. When she was fighting against Donald Trump's tax plan, she fought really hard in good faith, and she did everything she could. They were in the minority in the House, so they couldn't stop it. Then when she became the Speaker of the House, I don't feel like she didn't wield her power the way she needed to. So I stopped liking her, and I've got a lot of critical things that I've said about her on Twitter. I'm not taking it down. But somebody mentioned in our thread here that she's talking about impeaching Barr and Trump for a second time in order to grind the Senate to the halt to stop them from filling Ruth Bader Ginsburg's position. And if she does that, I'm going to like her again, and I'm going to put a lot of good stuff about her on Twitter because it's transactional. If you do the right thing, I support you. If you do the wrong thing, I'm against you. And yes, it is based on my judgment because, it's what I think is right. It's what I think is wrong. And that's where we generally disagree with some other people. He has a contrarian streak. I'm pretty sure Jeremy is talking about Glenn Greenwald here. Ben, could you please explain how Dems will be pushed aggressively to support and put in action progressive policies? They're not. They're not. They're not. This is exactly why I say on November 4th, I'm going back to targeting them. There's no moving Joe Biden to the left. The most energy we're going to get from Democrats is going to be in trying to protect the Supreme Court. And I agree with that fight. I also agree that Donald Trump is a unique existential threat to this country. So I have made the decision that I would rather fight a neoliberal over the next 4 years than a neo-fascist over the next 4 years. So I'm going to support Joe Biden in this presidency run. But he's my number one enemy come November 4th because I don't believe we're going to be able to move him to the left. But what we can do is stop us from going into full-blown fascism underneath the dictatorial rule of Donald Trump, who is using the levers of power controlled by his apparatchiks like William Barr, from usurping our democracy to the point where it's not even the figment of a democracy, right? It's not even the appearance of a democracy. And using the power that he has right now to disenfranchise us not only politically, but in every other way. And who has bragged about killing us. So while I don't think the Democrats are going to do anything progressive over the next 4 years, which is why I'm going to oppose them, I happily will fight them over the next 4 years than having to fight a fascist who brags about killing us on Fox News. So the short answer is we're not going to be able to move them to the left. That's why we have to fight them. The long answer is I got to fight Donald Trump first. This is a tough one. Who would I dream attorney general? Dream and attorney general under Biden and Harris, and then realistically. That's a tough question. Honestly, I don't think I have an answer for that yet. I have to think about who's actually in position, in line, who's feasible, and of those people who are feasible, which one would actually have the most progressive um, policies at the Department of Justice. I got to come back to you. I like questions that I have to really, really, really think hard about. Man, a lot of questions. Let me keep up. Comey as Attorney General? I'm good. My gut instinct was to kind of say a realistic pick would be Elizabeth Warren, but I think she'd be better at commerce. She'd be better Treasury. Aretha, I'm fighting for Biden because I know Trump will murder me in my sleep and then slaughter my children. I think people are going to think, Aretha, that that's hyperbole. Breonna Taylor was killed in her sleep. Michael Reinhold was killed carrying a bag of candy. And Donald Trump bragged about killing Michael Reinhold. It's not just Donald Trump, it's also the people that he emboldens. These white supremacists that are driving around the country in their 90,000 souped up pickup trucks, they feel like the country is theirs. That's because Donald Trump gives them this sense of empowerment. Here's what I said on the show this week that I think is, y'all hear that wind? It's beautiful. I hope it's not too loud. Here's what I said on the show this week that I think is extremely applicable. If you've ever been motivated by something that I've said, if you've ever been validated by something that I said, if you ever heard me say something that made you feel like, man, I can conquer the political world, we can do this. I'm just a blogger, YouTuber, podcaster, middle-aged dad, just came out of midlife crisis. Corona got my ass right now. I'm back to being a good dad, a good father, my husband. I ain't nobody. Imagine what these white supremacists feel when they get that same sense of validation from the goddamn White House. From the White House, from the President of the United States, the most powerful man in the world, saying the very things that make white supremacists feel emboldened, empowered, validated. That's why they're gallivanting around this country, trying to assert their dominance over society because they've been emboldened by Donald Trump to do so. So if you've ever felt empowered by my podcast, how empowered do you think these Nazis feel from Donald Trump being in the White House? Do I think, let me get the super chat. How do I put it on the screen? It's a good question too. From Zay Martin. Zay says, do you think the Supreme Court justices should be apolitical? If yes, why? If not, why? Do I think they should be? Yes. Do I think they ever will be? No. Do I think that they should constantly engage in a battle within themselves to not bring their political ideology to the conversation? Maybe. Let me answer all those. Should they be? Yes, because justice should be blind before the law. I think that's a principle that we have to aspire to. So yes, they should be. Will they ever be? No, because they're human and they're going to always bring their ideology and their personal beliefs into it. Should they fight in that struggle to overcome it? Yes, because I think it's the struggle to overcome your inherent biases and appealing to a greater universal truth that I think gives us the opportunity to have documents like the Constitution that really transcended the white supremacy of the founding fathers, right? They made promises in the Constitution that actually transcended their reality. Is it going to happen? in a constant pulling back and forth between being apolitical and being political. Here's the problem with everything that I just said. Oh, football game must be on, huh? Yep. Here's the problem with everything that I just said. People see human progress. No, strike that. Let me hear. Conservatives see our fight for equality to be inherently political. Meaning, if a judge makes a decision that in their mind isn't based on politics, but is based on equality before the law, and that decision expands the rights of, let's say, the LGBTQ community, conservatives, by definition, interpret that as hyperpartisanship, political activity. So they're going to always misinterpret what we may consider to be nothing more than treating everyone as equal before the law as political. They do that intentionally, and that's what strangles progress in this country. I don't think that contradicts what I just said, but I think it puts a fine point on the reality that that what I consider to be apolitical and what I consider to be just simply human progress and equality before the law, conservatives, some unintentionally, but most intentionally, interpret that as hyperpartisanship. Simply put, me thinking a woman should have the right to do whatever she wants with her body, like I have the right to do with my body, is interpreted as hyperpartisanship by conservatives. T. Gilly said, we're witnessing the end of democracy on a global scale. Authoritarians are consolidating worldwide. I think there's some truth, and we should be vigilant. But the laws on the books are neutral. If you're neutral about inherently racist law and policy, then you're just being racist. I probably are replying to someone. I'm not sure if that's aren't neutral. Okay, that makes more sense. I see it now. I am equal to any person on this earth. This is a hard lesson for some to learn. It's a harder lesson for them. It's a hard lesson for them to learn, Jennifer. Yes, but it's also a hard lesson for them to accept, because when the problem is the problem is the idea of Western civilization and the manner in which they want to protect it. They want to protect it as if the only way human progress could have occurred is if those white Christian men who they look up to, and they're not all Christian, but that's how they interpret it. I want to make sure that you understand. The way they define Western civilization is ahistorical, first and foremost. They define it as white, Caucasian, European, Christian men being the fathers of the entirety of civilization that we see now. Their conclusion is because that's what built civilization as we know it now, that's what we should protect, those traditions, because that's how we're going to go into the future. Even if we accept that premise, that modernity is the product of Western civilization as they define it, which they define as white Christian men and their philosophies, their worldviews, their economic policies, their religious traditions, their social constructs. If we accept that, which is ahistorical, by the way, so we shouldn't accept the premise, but if we accepted the premise, it suggests that what occurred at a snapshot in world history is sufficient enough to take us into the foreseeable future. This is how it has anything to do with your question or your statement about your equality. Part of that is that there is a natural order to society, that there is a framework that we should understand society through, and that there is a level of privilege that should be attached to a certain demographic, white Christian men, that our power structure should be remain that same way, white Christian men, particularly anybody who will protect that power structure. They don't mind black folks. so long as you are a black person who will protect the black Christian power structure, the white Christian power structure, white Christian male power structure. So they love Candace Owens because Candace Owens does everything she can to protect the power structure of white Christian men. If Candace Owens ever said something against the white male Christian power structure, she would be out just as quick as I would. The challenge for them is they feel that any increase in political or economic power for people outside of the current power structure, which is white Christian men, they feel it is an affront to Western civilization. Translation, it's an affront to their own personal power as a white, Christian or not, man. It's all bullshit. Even if you accept the premise, because, okay, I got to end the stream soon because I got to go get the groceries. It's all bullshit because here's the thing. Even if you accept that fundamental premise, which is ahistorical, it is reasonable and rational for us to assume and conclude that what got us here is not necessarily what's going to get us there, what's going to take us into the future, what's going to take us into a civilization that can. Because if you look at the construct of Western civilization, underneath it is greed, underneath it is white supremacy, underneath it is endless war. You can look at the byproducts that these people like Ben Shapiro, when they try to rationalize this, they try to rationalize it by saying, well, these were the things that were necessary for us to get the civilization that we have now. But we can clearly demonstrate that the things that they feel were necessary to get the civilization that we have right now are the very things that would destroy us. So even if you accept their ahistorical definition of progress throughout human history, which they put their crown achievement on Western civilization, which is basically nothing more than white supremacy, male supremacy, and Christian supremacy, even if you accept that, you cannot reasonably assert that we can continue living in the byproducts of that civilization and actually survive. You cannot tell me that we can continue in the level of war that we have around this globe and survive into the future. The level of white supremacy that is the bane of every civilization and continue into the future. They, of course, will reject the idea that white supremacy even exists. Ha, right? But you cannot tell me that the byproducts and the side effects of their ahistorical definition of white supremacy, of Western civilization, is actually something that is tenable in perpetuity. In other words, we can't keep living like this and think society is going to make it. If you accept their ahistorical definition of human progress, which they say got us to this point, I reject it. But even if we accept it, what we have done to get to this point is quite literally the very thing that would destroy us. So how can you justify protecting Western civilization as a way of making us progress into the future when everything about it is literally going to be the root of our destruction? So even if you accept their premise, I still reject their conclusion. We got to change what we do. We got to get away from this white male Christian power structure because everything about it has been laden with greed, war, poverty, climate disaster, literally everything, rejection of science. Like look at Western civilization now, right? You guys think that you are the inheritance of scientific thought, but you motherfuckers reject the science of COVID-19 to the point of 200,000 people dying. That's why I say it's ahistorical. But even if it was historically true, the byproducts of Western civilization has gotten us to a place where we're on the edge of disaster. And we live perpetually on the edge of disaster all of the time. And all it's going to take is one madman like Donald Trump to tip a society that has been teetering on the edge of disaster for a very long time. All it takes is one strong man like Donald Trump, and I don't mean strong man in a complimentary way, I mean in the international relations sense, to push us over into oblivion. All that came from my sister's comment about accepting her as equal. because to them, her equality equates to an affront against Western civilization. Not just because she's a woman, not just because she's black, but because they see it as a zero-sum game, that your acquisition of power means a decrease in their own power. And even if you accept that as true, their consolidation of power is the very thing that is at the root of what will destroy us going forward. Long story short, sorry to go on that rant. Long story short is, even if you think Western civilization got us this far, you would be disingenuous and engaging in bad faith if you think what we have been done up to this point is sustainable going forward. We have to do something different going forward. And part of that thing is a more egalitarian society where power is not concentrated into the hands of white Christian men, but is concentrated into the hands of all the people. Let's see how much time I got. Ooh, I got to leave in about 5 minutes. I destroyed Tucker Carlson too. I don't like to brag, because sometimes when you brag, you lose. But I'd put some money on that. I'd fuck Tucker Carlson up. Ben Shapiro. There's not a person on the right. Candace Owens. Anybody. There's nobody on the right who really would want to go toe to toe with me. And I know that sets me up to lose because that's how the universe works. But I'll take those odds. 2 white Christian males are running. Donald Trump's not a Christian. No more than I'm a white woman. Vote. Reach your non-voting friends and relatives. Do I want the ashes of right-wingers? I don't want the ashes from my wife because she's going to be... if you put shoes on Jeremiah, I'll keep him out here. He's eating? Okay, I'll check in. Got some time. Do I want to see the ashes of right-wingers? No. I'm a humanist first and foremost. I'm black, obviously. You can see that. I am pro-black because of our position in society requires that. And society becomes better because of my pro-blackness. Because of our position and our proximity to... No, not in proximity, but in our position with white supremacy and the fight that we have against white supremacy. Pulling down white supremacy is good for humanity. So me being pro-black, besides the fact that I am black, is really good for all of humanity. So I'm pro-black, I'm Christian, not because I have any evidence, but simply because I just want to be. I grew up that way. It instilled concern for my fellow man. You know, love for humanity actually came from Christianity for me. I don't have any proof. That's why I don't argue with atheists about the existence of God. It's just a leap of faith in the same sense of Soren Kierkegaard. I can never pronounce his last name. I'm a humanist above, I think, everything else. I have empathy and compassion for all people. I would that everyone would prosper and be in good health, even as their soul prospers. That includes conservatives. So I don't want the ashes of conservatives, but I'm willing to wade through their ashes to protect human civilization, because I think the way they are carrying themselves right now is a direct threat to our very survival. So would I apologize if we had to wade through some ashes to save society? No. Do I want it? No. I'd rather us sit here and talk, have a coffee. Cam. I got a few extra minutes, but I like this. I'm a progressive because Jesus was a radical leftist. Ben, keep on preaching the truth, my friend. More voices, more power. How many people? Y'all still here? I really didn't expect this many people to be here. We got 454 people chilling with us. Do a leap of faith on the trampoline. So I'm still on the floor in the bedroom by the dresser. I might let the kids come out and get on the trampoline. It's warming up. I am 2 pounds too heavy for the trampoline. that's one of the other reasons I started losing weight, because I want to jump on it with my kids. So I'm just 2 pounds too heavy. But give me about 2 weeks and I'll be able to get on there. Um, Benjamin, send you a few whispers here over on some unique aspect of Twitch. What's a whisper? Is that like a DM? I don't know Twitch, but it sounds interesting. Wow, it's been the opposite of what Ben Shapiro is. When are you picking up the groceries? My wife gave up on me. She's going to pick up the groceries. But check me out. I got to go get the charger in a second, because JSS PSS, I've known you for years. I think you've been following me since day one, right? I just recognize that handle. There's proof that God exists, but religion is extremely problematic and entrapment. Spirituality is what I feel should be strive above all practice. I don't think there's proof, except for the astronomical odds. It's so improbable. I'm not talking about anything you think I'm talking about. Like in my own personal life, there's so many things that are like astronomically impossible that have happened to me and for me and around me. That's like, at a minimum, there's got to be something like destiny. There's got to be something big, because like what are the odds that a story? And again, I know people are going to get tired of me talking about it, but I think that was the Michael Bloomberg story was an inflection point in my life, because, like I said, I was like, we were getting ready to have to move in with my in-laws because everything had just failed. I mean, I was consistently producing good work, but nothing was working for me. And so before Michael Bloomberg, shit was pretty bad. And what are the odds that a story that literally anybody could have broke that story, landing in the hands of the person who, one, could speak about it the best, two, actually needed the results of it the most? The odds are astronomical. And that type of thing happens to me like every other day. So that's kind of why I still want to believe, because it's like, this is ridiculous. Like, even if it's not God in the sense of what religion talks about, I accept that. Like, because I kind of reject religion in my own way. Still, me and Jesus are cool. We down like four flat tires. But I still kind of reject the idea of religion in the way that religion, organized religion, manages it. But it's just too much going on for me. Cause that's me. But I don't dwell on that. Aretha said amen. I'm sure she was talking about something that I said like 20 minutes ago, because I'm really behind. All delusional libs are saying that Dems will court pack are just making me angry. Um, we'll see. That has to be the threat, though. That's the only thing they have. And the mistake Republicans are going to make is thinking that Democrats won't make good on that threat. This puts us at a advantage, because people are going to doubt that Democrats will actually show that they have a backbone, because that has been their historical precedent. But let me tell you something about people that you underestimate. They will surprise you at the very moment that you don't expect them to. So, you know, odds are they won't do it based on their precedent, but I'm not going to bet against them. It's a bad bet, I think. Black Patriot. All right. Don't know if I like your avatar, but we can disagree on that. Appreciate you becoming a subscriber. I'm sure you disagree with some shit I've been saying. I appreciate you back, Aretha. I have a feeling Trump is going to attack either Iran or Venezuela before the election. I think we got too much shit going on. I don't think he can afford to put that on his list. I think he's stupid, but I don't know if he's. I think he's got smarter people around him that understand that that's too much. We can't handle that. Assassin's Creed style. Are you talking about what I was just talking about in terms of like historical perspective? Yeah, I think so. Damn, I'm so far behind. Let me skip down. Donald Trump will run again in 2024, but he'll be too old. He won't make it. Oh, thank you, Blake. Blake, thank you for this comment because I did forget this. He already did attack Iran. They just didn't take the bait. And I think that's so important because who we have been told for years were the irrational, belligerent people on the international stage, Iran, they have been the most moderated in their reaction to Donald Trump's belligerence. We have had to look at Iran and North Korea for a while. Now he's buddy-buddy with North Korea. But particularly Iran, and there's another nation that didn't take the bait. Russia with Syria, with him bombing the airbase. They have had, particularly Iran, forget Syria, they've had to be the reasonable, rational actors on the international stage, and they have demonstrated that they have more common sense and more reflection and more moderation than Donald Trump. And I appreciate this moment because it exposes the truth about America, what America has been for a very long time. Donald Trump's ignorance exposed it in a way that other presidents were shrewd enough to cover the fact and the historical reality of American imperialism. Delarry, this is what I'm worried about the most, Delarry. My take on people blocking the voting booths. Y'all hang on a second. Benjamin, come here real quick. I'm concerned about this. Come here. Hey, buddy, will you go in my office underneath my desk and bring me the charger? And then the white extension cord is right there. Love you, man. I think that's that's what I'm afraid of. I think people are going to intimidate voters on election day, and I think some black grandmother at some missionary Baptist church down in Mississippi is going to get with them and dare somebody from Proud Boys to stop her. I don't know if that example that I just gave you of the black grandma at the missionary Baptist church and the Proud Boy trying to stop her is the flashpoint of some violence, because I think the Proud Boy should in that moment realize how bad that looks. And so maybe it won't escalate. But at another precinct, you're going to have a Proud Boy who is trying to block or intimidate black voters, and it's going to go south. I am concerned about that. So we'll see. You want to come say hello to the people? You want to come say hello to everybody? Close the door all the way. Don't let them out. That's a whole lot of people. This is my son, Benjamin. Say what's up.
Hi.
Trying to get a six-pack like him. All right. Y'all have a good time. There you go, right here. This is it. This is the one. Benjamin, give me the remote. The worst part, come here. When I call you from the other side of the house to come cut off my light. You hate that? I'll be in the bed so comfortable. Listen, that's the part of being that's the best part of being a dad, a parent. Come to the other side of the house to cut off a light that I literally could just roll out the bed and hit. Oh, Bebo. Hey, y'all check out Skits Bebo. This is my homeboy from high school. He been riding with me. We lost track of each other just for a little while before Facebook existed, you know, because we're Generation X, Millennial, Generation X. And but as soon as we reconnected, man, it was just like old times. He's got some great music. I dad and take Jeremiah to the potty and help my wife bring the groceries in the house. Got me out of a little trouble. I'm good. Got the groceries out the car, brought them into the house. Hey, everyone who's joining for the first time. We've been streaming all day. It's like, I mean, what else is there to do? I'm still on the quarantine. I don't know about y'all. Who all out there is actually self-quarantining and social distancing, like staying home? Hit me up in the chat room if you're staying home. What's going on, meme? Love from Louisiana back in the house. Sorry about the disconnection. We had about 500 people earlier. Welcome back, Anita. I'm back too. Took 5. Sonia said me. She's staying home. Good on you, Sonia. I should have named it Return of the Vibe. What was I thinking? Return of the Vibe. Meme says she's staying home. Wes says he's staying home. Hey, back at you, Panda, Angry Panda. Cheryl is staying home. HT Wells, I am back. Yes, we're back. I had enough time. I went and got the groceries out the car. Took Jeremiah to the potty. So maybe I don't get in too much trouble. What it do, Reginald? Oh, that's my dude, Reginald. What's up, man? I told my I'm not in any fraternity. I want to say that first, but I saw Reginald had on a on one of his last profile one picture you shared before I realized you're a Q. You had on like gold boots or something, and I was like, oh yeah, he a Q. And my wife's like, how you know? I showed her the picture. She was like, yeah, he a Q. Zero, my pleasure. Yeah, it's my honor to hang out with y'all. Law, is that Law Gilo or Gillo? Harji? Cancel dentist appointments. Yeah, I'm not going to any dentist. I'm gonna have to just brush my teeth 4 times a day. I've been training to quarantine all my life. It's called being socially awkward. Melinda is at home in the ATL. Literally my job to stay at home. Reginald say, yes, sir. I see you, bro. Anita says she's from Michigan and I always stayed home quarantined because I've had a liver transplant. After this experience, God is good and I'm blessed. Prayers up. I'm doing good. You? I was gonna say man, but I don't know how you identify him. I'm doing good. Okay, let me be honest. This question: would I have Shadid Butter? I'm sure you hear my son. Would I have him on the main show? Um, like I told most, I don't bring political candidates on the show. I try not to, um, but I do know, like, I think what I've done for some people is like I refer them to TYT because TYT has a separate show that's dedicated just to interviewing like candidates and stuff. And so when people ask me that, I usually like shoot their name over to TYT, and sometimes I end up doing those interviews because I fill in as a guest host. So it's nothing against Shahid, and I hope he knows that. But I really I try not to bring politicians on my show because it's like not really that's not the format of the show, if that makes sense. Derek wants to know what's up with MSNBC. You banned now or just put on the side until I get I'm put on the side until I do something else big like Michael Bloomberg. But shout out to Ari Melber from the Beat. He's been extremely cordial with inviting me on, particularly when I was the hot item because I got rid of Michael Bloomberg. He brought me on one other time. Good dude. Nothing bad to say about him. I can say this. I've been a lot of places and worked with a lot of people. But I don't know that I've ever had friendlier encounters than when I was doing all the MSNBC stuff. And that's people in the background. People who are like just really meticulous about being kind. I don't know if that was everybody's experience. Some people may have had a shitty experience with them, but everybody was extremely meticulous about being kind, and I respect that. Teresa loves listening to me. I love talking with you guys. It's quite honestly my privilege and my pleasure. Gullah Gullah. Shoot them over to Sam Cedar. That's a good point. Sam does a lot of interviews. He's really good. I don't know if interviewing is just not the format. I've had a couple people who don't listen to the show anymore because I don't do as many interviews. I do like interviewing professors. I love interviewing professors. So send me professors because I like those robust, philosophical, esoteric conversations where we like get to the bottom of the issue and then we got to come swim all the way back up for air because we went too deep. That's the kind of conversation I like on my show. Yours truly, the oligarch slayer. Hey man, I think the world needs more people like you. I appreciate that. Puerto Rico is in the house. I see you. When do we move our families to New Zealand? I'm honestly thinking about getting the hell out of here. Donald Trump gets a second term, I'll do conservatives a favor. If I can get Cornel West, would everybody please message Cornel West to come on my show? I would do a 5-part. I would interview him just one day, and I will talk to him long enough for it to be a 5-part episode. Please, I'm such a fanboy over Cornel West. And I know it's like, I kind of like, I don't want to sound arrogant, but now that I have like a pretty big following, a lot of people are like, well, he's just Cornel West. I'm still like, that's Cornel West. You know what I mean? Angela Davis, absolutely. Absolutely. Carol Anderson, Emory College, okay. We stand Cornell. We absolutely do. It was cold this morning. Now these flies are back. Would you bring up Cornel West's role in The Matrix Reloaded? What did you think about that role, Robin? That's my brother. He said Cornel West, bro, you can't even get verified. I appreciate the relationship that I have with Derek, because Derek boosts me up and then Derek knocked me down. And I don't think me and Derek even met in real life. That's kind of friendships I like online. In real life, I like people who can push me and then also sober me up. His last name is Sobers. Look at that shit. Isn't that something? But I'm verified on Facebook, fam. Come on, man. I get more likes and retweets than most people in Congress. And I still can't get Cornel West on the show. Ma Plinzer says she's been with me since Sam Cedar let me come on in 2016. Thank you. I appreciate you. Shout out to Sam. Earlier, I was talking about a lot of progressive commentators, and you brought up Sam. Sam is a good dude. Sam is a genuine good dude. Rest in peace to Michael Brooks, who was the realist. Michael brought me on the Majority Report years and years and years ago. And it's crazy. When you find your lane that you're supposed to be in, stuff starts clicking. It might take a little while. It took me 5 years to actually make some money off of this stuff. I, almost went in the poorhouse doing this. And now we're doing good. But even before I was doing good, Michael, saw my work and was instantly brought me on his show. And Sam saw me talking with Michael on a regular basis. And then Sam brought me on. And then it was like, I wasn't coming on twice a week. They weren't going to let me come on twice a week. So I wasn't talking with Michael on the show on a regular basis anymore. I was talking with Sam on the show on a regular basis. But y'all keep the Michael Brooks show going. Support his family, his sister, and the work that they're doing, because Michael was a great dude. And we lost him this year, and it's been a real bad year, but one of the best. Let's keep going. No, Lisa, this is part 4, part 5. I don't know. I don't do them often, so I'm like, I might as well just do it until my heart's content. When I'm tired of it, I probably won't do it again for another month or 2 or 3 or 4. It's a jungle out there, as well as some random lefties. Love Dr. West. Love him too. Lisa says she's a few minutes behind. Hit that live button. Hit the live button. It'll catch you up. Twitch has a better community, in my honest opinion. I'm brand new to Twitch. Hopefully I can get it popping on Twitch. Kevin said he didn't know who I was until I guest hosted for David Pakman. Boosting comrades, mutual aid is critical. I already gave David his props earlier today, but I can never stop giving David his props. I know a lot of lefties in my circle, in my orbit, don't like David, and they always try to give me hell over kicking it with David, but I'm going to ride with David till the wheels fall off, because David rode with me at the very beginning as well. David literally said, David was in New York. I was in Boston the first time around. And David hit me up and said, this was like 2016, right when I got started. And he was like, hey, I like your work. I'm getting ready to move to Boston. Let me know if you want to collab. He came to Boston, set up a studio, and was like, hey, if you want to use my studio, you can use my studio. And that's how I got my first high definition streams going, because otherwise I was at home with a webcam. So I rock with David Pakman, authentic dude. Me and Noah, Changa is my sister from another mister. Like that's my sister forever. Um, we need to get me on Joe Rogan. I I like Joe Rogan, but he's dangerous, and I probably would never get invited back because I'd have to give him some hell. Packman and Cedar have an unofficial beef going on. Yeah, uh, David won. It was a beef. It was a friendly competition to see who would get to a million first. David just crossed a million subscribers on YouTube, so congrats. Um, oh, appreciate it. I'm gonna put this on. It's a little, you know, self-aggrandizing for me to put this on the screen, but thank you, Cynthia. I appreciate you guys. Oh, yes. Yes, I owe the patrons another Zoom party where we had a DJ and all the patrons. We had like a real patron party and we partied until midnight. Yeah, let's definitely do it again. Let's do it again before the election and um, and have a good time. When did I leave Atlanta? I left Atlanta a couple months back. Appreciate it, Easy Hoon. Iowa's in the house. Let's see. What should leftists be doing to stop Trump's election interference? Thank you. Let's go. Let's get the questions going. Um, I'm gonna come back to Kevin McCreary in a second. What should we be doing? Two things. First and foremost, follow your personal heart and your personal North Star, and do what you feel is right and best. I'm not. I would never judge you over that. The second thing is if you are like me and you feel as though the right thing to do is to stop Donald Trump, then convince as many people as you can without engaging in voter shaming. If somebody doesn't want to do it, you know, love them and let them do them. But be confident in the fact that it's okay for us to not like Joe Biden's politics, but realize that it's vitally important for us to get rid of Donald Trump. And so to that end, I'm going to vote for Joe Biden. And, it cost me some followers, cost me some patrons, but I've lost so much more based on my integrity that I'm not going to worry about followers or patrons. Now, if I lose all my patrons, there's something different, but I think we're good. Um, See, this is what I'm talking about right here. Today in Fairfax, Virginia, Trumpers are blocking the entrance to polling places. So the reason I'm doing this is because I'm taking a day off of Twitter and I'm taking a day off of making videos and posting the videos. I'm just kind of trying to chill. And I'm sure if I was on Twitter, I would know that this was going on. I didn't know this was happening, and I probably would do a video on it because this is the real deal, man. They really feel like, look at how Trump has defined freedom and democracy. He's defined it as it's impossible for him to win without Democrats cheating. He has put that idea in the minds of all of their supporters. And so now his supporters are acting out on that by, quote unquote, protecting the election. And their definition of protecting the election, this is how twisted everything is blocking people from voting. So in their effort to do what they believe is right based on what Trump has told them, is disenfranchising people who they politically disagree with. Simply put, they believe that the just and moral thing and the democratic thing to do is authoritarianism, control over who gets to vote. The sky is green, the grass is blue. Night is day, day is night. Freedom is slavery, and slavery is freedom. They have crossed their wires so much, all for the bidding of Donald Trump, and they think that they are doing the moral and just thing by blocking people from voting when they are actually engaging in authoritarian style oppression. And if we stop them from that oppression, then they think we're oppressing them. Yes, ma'am.
I had to go back because they forgot a bag.
A whole bag?
And everything else.
The meat and everything?
Yes.
Okay, did you get the garage opener? I gave it to Benjamin.
Okay.
All right. He can come out here and sit with me if that's better. Come on, Bubba.
Okay, well then never mind.
What? Never mind what? Okay, that's fine. Here. Yes, if you still want to call in, I still get my voicemails.
Still get to the other house, to the building.
857 600.
Just to hold it to the other order. Go shopping and
Sweet Pea, go get me the off. Yeah.
for like the fly.
Yeah, for the flies, yeah. 857 600 0518. You can leave me a voicemail and I will include it in the show. Are your feet too big for this? Or is that, or I'm just resting? Yeah, close those doors, please. This is the one, Carmen. He's even asking if he can send poll watchers from other districts to the polls. Don't sleep on him. You want some of that? You're not going to like it. You're not going to like it. I cannot get this boy's shoes on.
I cannot do anymore.
Anymore? You don't like it, do you? It's nasty?
No.
There's no sugar in it.
It's not sugar.
I'm struggling. Y'all know how to do this, and I've been doing this for 2 babies,
You got
3 kids,
2 kids.
and I cannot get this boy's shoe
I
on.
cannot do anymore. Tonight, tasting anything.
Heck, what the heck?
Heck.
Yes.
I just said that. I don't know the practice on me.
I think maybe he's just outgrown these shoes. These shoes don't fit you, Bubba. Go get me your other shoes. Go give me your black shoes.
Black suit?
Yes, give me your black shoes. Hey, y'all get his black shoes and bring them to me. All right. Let's answer some more questions. Oh, we got a video. Okay, I can download this video and bring it on to the screen. Let me see if I can copy that link. Can I copy this link? I can't copy that link. Oh, that boy run his mouth. I had to catch myself all the time because if I say close the door, Mama, please. Well, quickly because the flies are going to go in and it takes me 2 days to get them out. I don't know what's going on here, but it's wholesome. I'm vacillating back and forth between speaking truth to power and trying to be a dad at the same time. This is my life. Building and Leftists. Doing my best, man. Let's get some more questions in here. Where's Mom? Somebody help. I know how to put the shoes on. The shoes are just too small. How can we as a community start working together more? This is a good question. And I'm going to have to answer it after I put his shoes on. You got the black shoes, Bubba? Come on. Close the door. Close the door. Close the door. Come on, come on, come on. I got the black shoes. He brought his whole... He wanted to show you his jacket. I am going to answer that question. I haven't lost track of that question. If you... Oh, okay, Bubba, thank you. If you have an important question, that's Sweet Pea. If you have an important question, hold it for a second. Oh, do your Google Colors thing. You got 5 seconds to subscribe.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Everybody subscribe. Wherever you are, subscribe and follow because he just did the subscribe challenge.
You got passing. In 5, 4, 3. What's this do?
This is the off. We gotta take care of your skin. Make sure that some bugs don't get you.
Yeah.
Almost ready. Here, put a little bit around your neck. Here, come here. Uh-oh. Your head took you. He has my head. If I take off this hat, you'll see under your neck. All right.
Okay.
Come here.
No,
You don't need that coat. It's too hot for that. Come here. Come here.
cold.
Yeah, we need it. Oh, you know, you got to spray it on your. I know. Here, come here. Give me your arms. Here, give me your hands then. Give me your hands. You put it on yourself. Here. Now rub it around your neck. All right. And Bubba, I need you in front of me so I can see you. Here, Lizzie, go check the trampoline and see if I need to clean it. See if there's anything on it. If y'all want to jump. Oh, you don't want to jump. Okay. What can leftists do more to... Okay, I'll get it. Y'all stay in front of me then so I can watch you. Here's the thing about leftists, and this is why it's important. I am a leftist. I am as far left as Dr. West. Maybe a little bit further left than Dr. West, but not much further. I'm further left than Bernie Sanders. I am not the furthest left. There are plenty of communists who don't like me. Here, Bubba, come put your jacket on. Here's what's important about our movement. For me, is we fight on behalf of all marginalized people wherever we find them, domestically or internationally.
Domestically.
Did you just say domestically?
Yes, I say this to the I say
Okay. Tell everybody to subscribe. Come on. Help your daddy show out.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2.
Okay. Shout out to Google Kids, ZZ Kids, Google. Who is it?
Google College and ZZ.
Yeah, because he don't. Obviously, he don't watch my show. He got that from another YouTube channel. So shout out to them. Okay. Go play, Mama. But play in front of me. So I get out of the ant bed, buddy. Go. Okay. Well, go. Here's the thing. I'm trying to get back to the answer.
Daddy.
Okay, you sticks. Go throw the sticks. What we're going through right now happens after every single election, and we absolutely run into issues of infighting whenever we lose in the primaries to a neoliberal, and we've gone through this before. The problem is that I think some people, I know that there are some people who actually profit off of sowing the division. And that's one thing. I think if we can expose that and get rid of them, we'd be a lot better off. But the real thing is this, folks. We're not supposed to agree on everything. We're not going to... I'm going to make y'all get on the trampoline.
No!
I shouldn't even bought that thing. They jumped on it for like a month and then they were done with it. We're not going to agree on everything as leftists. And if we can accept that, then we could stop trying to destroy each other when we find out somebody disagrees with us. A lot of leftists disagree with me vehemently about my decision to vote for Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, because I put Donald Trump at the top of my list of things that we have to get rid of. We got to get rid of Donald Trump. He's an existential threat to our country. COVID-19, 150,000 people are dead right now that would not be dead if he was not in office because of how he handled it. That's my number one priority. We got a lot of leftists who vehemently disagree with it. Cool. But if your decision is that I'm a sellout because I made that decision, we can't have we'll never have a coalescent left. Yes,
Why
sweetie.
can't you run for president?
Reasons, Mama. Bubba, come over here, man. I gotta get rid of the spider webs. The sun. You like the sun? The sun is over here in front of me so I can see you.
I want to live in the White House.
So it's our inability to give space and grace to people that we disagree with on the far left that really undermines us on a regular basis. Every so many years, I end up falling out with the far left. And like I said, I'm a little bit further left than Cornel West. I'm a lot further left than Bernie Sanders. I'm not as far left as most communists. Definitely in the ballpark of a socialist. And yet, despite all of my work, despite of all the stuff that I've done, because I made the decision to support Joe Biden, not because I like Joe Biden or agree with him, but because we got to get rid of Donald Trump. For some of my friends on the left, they decided to make me an enemy. It's cool. It happens. And I think that kind of thing, if it continues to happen, that's the reason we can't have a coalition big enough to actually defeat neoliberalism. But it doesn't change. Bubba, come on, come on. It doesn't change my plan. My plan is this: get rid of Donald Trump November 4th. It doesn't matter who, what, when, where, how. I'm going back to fighting the Democrats because I know that they are not advocating for the policies that I want. First and foremost, Medicare for all. Here, put this on. You take it. And they're working on behalf of they're working on behalf of corporate interests. But they are not Donald Trump. And they are not going to shoot us and brag about it on Fox News 3 times. And they are not going to try to send a militia out to stop us from voting. So I answered that question. Okay, let's move on. Let me catch up. I know I'm way behind. Mama, I only want one other person germ at a time. No. It's mine.
Hey, that's my solo.
Let's get some new questions in here. The left needs to stop attacking the left. Exactly. Lee Clow said, if you're that far left, you got to get used to disappointment in this country. Bernie is who we settle for, but it's a step in the right direction. You can't just ignore the Overton window. And I think for me personally, in terms of my profession and my career in doing this, it is about moving the Overton window. My goal on a regular basis is to bring more people to my persuasion and radicalize more people little by little, so that when we say Medicare for all, they don't think it's anything but normal. When I say American imperialism, they don't think anything except it's wrong. When I say contract, destroy, pull down white supremacy, contract the military industrial complex, tear down white supremacy, I think people will be like, yeah, that's what I want. And I want to expand that thinking in the minds of everybody who listens to my show. And so that's what I consider a personal victory for my work. But I agree with your assessment. Let's go. We have to say Roe versus Wade, or all women's other rights will be in jeopardy. I agree. Whatever you think about abortion, I'm a Christian. I'm conservative, to be quite honest with you. Not in the social or the political sense, but in my family structure. Like I'm a nuclear family. Like you could take me and put me in the 50s, and besides white supremacy and segregation and lynching and Jim Crow, my family structure would fit in. To that end, the reason I am a progressive and I'm liberal in terms of international politics is because I want everybody to be as free to live their life the way I do. No. Free to live their life the way they want to, just like I'm free. Now I forgot the question. Roe versus Wade. And the reason we have to say Roe versus Wade is because we are up against an opposition who defines freedom as their ability to restrict our rights. Like, I personally, it don't matter what I think personally, because I don't have to make that decision, except unless it's in conjunction with my wife. So I'm going to stop the sentence there. I don't care what I personally think about abortion. It doesn't matter whether I'm pro or against. What I am for is for a woman to have the autonomy to make a decision with her body in the privacy with her doctor, just like I do. And I don't define freedom as being able to restrict someone else's rights. I hate it. The reactionary, short-sighted people amongst us, yes. Let's see, here's a question. Will he be able to send poll watchers out from different districts to intimidate voters? He's not going to personally do it. He has Roger Stone, who is going to do it. And Roger Stone is a political operative who's been with the Republican Party since Richard Nixon. And Roger Stone coordinated the Brooks Brothers riots in 2000, which shut down the voting. I'm trying. Shut down the counting of the vote in South Florida. And Roger Stone just got his sentence commuted by Donald Trump. So Donald Trump isn't going to have to do it himself. He's got Roger Stone doing it for him with the full backing of the White House, mind you. So, well, hold on. Don't throw that rock this way, Bubba. That's a big rock.
Sorry. That's big rock, Daddy.
So yes and no. No, he's not going to do it personally. Yes, because he has Roger Stone already working on it. Roger Stone and the Proud Boys. Not my business what other people do with their bodies. It's not my business who you love. I really have. I can't talk about my. Well, I guess I could, but I'm not. I'm gonna wait on my philosophy of love till they go inside, because that's some more. Huh? Who is what?
Who's that?
Do you need a potty? You're shaking. Do you need a potty again? No. Talk to me. Do you need a potty? Huh? Yes? No. All right. I'm gonna take you at your word. I'm in the military. I like this comment. I'm in the military and I've been to Syria. Trust me, not a single leftist revolutionary wants that smoke. Democracy is how we achieve our goals. I'm gonna be honest with you. Hey kids, I love you.
Yeah.
I do. But go over there. Go in front of me. I need you to stay over there. It's been cute. It's been fun. Hey. Over there. Let's go. And they ain't even listening to me. They know that this camera is on and I ain't gonna have y'all call the cops on me. Thank you so much, Nina. Nina says, I have a beautiful family. God is good. Carmela says he need a potty. No, he's pretty good. When he says no, he's good. Marcus Farrell, my brother from another mother, he co-hosts Political Thirst Trap with me Tuesday, Thursday nights. Check him out. Philosophy of Love, BPD After Dark. My face is so swollen. I wonder if I ate something that makes it even more swollen. Somebody said something. Oh, no. Back to Ron. This. I guess I can see him in the computer, so at least I have my eye on him by watching the camera. I covered that on Ron's comment. I covered on the show quite a few times this week. And a lot of my friends who are leftist revolutionaries, I'll just say this. If we can do it through democracy, that's my first choice for obvious reasons. For obvious reasons. My first choice is not going to be to tear down America. Not because of any great loyalty to America, but my loyalty to my family. Now, you catch me on the right day. I said on the Twitch stream earlier, 364 days out of the year, this is where I am. There is that one day where I'm ready to take up arms and fight in a revolution, because America gets like that. But for obvious reasons, I'm going to do everything I can within the confines of our system to try to fix our problems, because the alternative is bringing everything down to rubble and ashes. Maybe y'all should have called me before I had kids, and I'd be out there fighting the revolution. Anyway, let's see. Speaking of right-wing operatives, I wish someone would shut Crowder up. Steven Crowder. We had a debate scheduled many years ago. And what's wrong?
There's something on his shoe.
Let me see. Give me your shoe.
I don't do it.
Why? I'm just gonna look at see if there's anything in it.
I see the boy.
Plus, I want to show them your pretty shoes. They're dirty now because you've been running in the mud.
He seems to.
Fila. When the last time y'all saw some Filas?
I have some wallet to the top.
So anyway.
He has a Nike's jacket.
What were we talking about, folks? I'm lost.
I'm gonna throw a shoe at you.
I don't even know what we were talking about. Don't you throw? Hey.
I was joking.
I know.
I know.
I know.
I know. I I lost too.
I'm putting this back
love
up. We need to blow you up on Facebook. Hey, listen, I was doing some really good work on Facebook. I was building something on Facebook. I was mastering Facebook in terms of Facebook revenue on videos.
Oh,
And
Billy,
what I'm doing with those revenues, I love you, but I can't. I'm trying.
Daddy, there's a bug on the window.
That's what bugs do.
On the window.
Facebook shut me down. That's all I want to say. So if you guys
If you guys
just make some noise and help me out, get back on Facebook.
get on Facebook.
Hey, she likes Paula likes your shoes.
He does follow Facebook.
Say thank you. Say thank you, Paula.
I did not do that anymore.
I think you know what? You know what I would love? And I want to be careful with this. I want to be careful with this suggestion. It's time for a nap. Is it time for a nap? No. Come on, let's take a nap.
No, come on.
Well, then y'all go over there and play.
Okay.
Go play. Go play.
Bye.
I love my daughter's voice. I know one day she's gonna grow up and her voice is not gonna be tiny anymore. So I'm trying to enjoy it. Yeah, come on, man. Like, of course I'm going to try to use democracy to work this thing out.
I'm gonna get you.
What else am I supposed to do? Put my kids in a situation similar to Syria, where in 1 year they had a stable life,
I'll get you. Got you.
and then the next year they were refugees? No. But anyway, I'm losing track of all my thoughts here. Being an idealistic is awesome. Sometimes being practical is warranted. You got to do both. Professor Edith Glau, one of my favorite guys to have on the show, he made a comment about that because I kept talking about my optimism being taken over by the realism of our times, and he basically said you have to maintain both simultaneously. You can't relinquish your optimism, but you also have to maintain a level of realism to be effective. Okay, if there was a revolution, who do you think should lead the left? Honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. I have the full expectation that there's somebody dynamic, somebody charismatic, somebody who is ruthless.
Can we play with the hose?
No. Who's going to rise up from the ranks on the left and kind of be clear that this is the person who should be leading a revolution. Outside of that, I think it's going to be a democratized revolution, which in the sense that it's democratized, it kind of makes the impact of that revolution a little bit less efficacious. And so I think leadership in general in this era is democratized, and you're going to have segments that are being led by segments. And I don't believe, I don't know what kind of bug that is, Sweet Pea, so stay away from it. I don't believe that that you're going to get the kind of revolution that we've seen historically. I definitely don't think that we can launch or win. Little boy, where did you come from?
Okay, we came.
You came through the front door?
What? No.
What, the garage?
He came back, and I went.
You rode with mommy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, you gotta tell me when you're going somewhere. Anyway, I don't think there's gonna be a violent revolution, and I hope that there won't be. Somebody said the left ruthless. I don't know about that. AOC, depending on what type of revolution you're talking about. If you're talking about a political revolution, I think AOC is a qualified leader for a political revolution. Have I thought about Surf TV? I've been on their network, so maybe I'll give them a shout. Hey, wait a minute. Hold up. Lizzie, I hear you got them. I'll bring them back so I can see them. Where's Jeremiah? Who had him? Come on.
You got scared?
Um,
Come on, let's go see mommy. Let's go see mommy. No, come on.
I hope this democratized revolution includes primary challenges of to people like Schumer. Well, yes, that's not exactly what I was meaning by democratize, but I think what you're saying is important, Maria. It is to I think that is more along the lines of a political revolution. And yes, working through the system, primary everybody. When I say democratize, I mean like if there's any other type of revolution, including a political revolution. I'm reading the comments. Go, little girl.
You're not reading comments.
I'm reading the comments.
They're not on your screen.
I just put one on the screen. You gonna show me how to do my show?
Yeah. No.
Thank you. Somebody just reminded me of the one I didn't want to miss. I think people should volunteer as poll workers / more. Somebody said earlier, could the left provide security at, not security, but help out at the polls? I want to be careful with that suggestion because I don't want to encourage anything that's going to lead to violence. However, at the same time, there will be a strong right-wing presence there. And if we don't have something to counter it, then it's going to, they're going to win. And I'm thinking maybe if there are some leftists who can see the value in helping out in that way, but they are not ready to, y'all about to see me be a real dad in about 3.5 seconds. I'm about to turn up. 1, 2, and 3. Hey, go inside. Let's go. Let's go. Jeremiah, love you, Bubba. Time to go inside. Let's go. If I have to ask again.
What we had? Mommy! Mommy!
Go.
Where's mommy?
Mommy's come inside too. Go inside. Let's do a poll. Quick poll. Who wants the kids to stay? Who wants them to go inside?
Stay, Daddy! Stay, Daddy!
You got to ask the audience if you can stay.
Can we stay?
Ask them. You ask them.
Stay! Can we stay? Please!
Do we make him open up a can of whoop? Oh yeah, don't make me. Yeah, you ready about that? Uncle Robin said you better listen to Daddy. It's been fun. It's been cute, but Daddy trying to answer some heavy questions. Kids, stay. I see one person say stay. Somebody else said listen to your dad. Let's go. Come on, quickly. Get your lunch. Get your snacks. Let's go, Bubba. Snacks. Snack time. And she's looking out the window at me like, sad. No. Robin, I was talking about my brother. Robin. Like, their literal uncle. He's in the chat room, too. So, anyway, folks, we got 519 people. All right. We'll keep going. I think a leftist who can't bring themselves to vote for Joe Biden, I think what you can do if you're looking for something that you could do that doesn't include voting for Joe Biden, because I understand, consider being at a poll, coordinating with the community there, with the poll, with whoever there does that organizing. I wouldn't just go on your own. I would connect with a community that's already doing that organizing and provide, support. If for no other reason, then as leftists, no matter how far left we are, we got to agree on opposing fascists. So I think that's something that you can do. Oh man, shout out to Usman Abdullah. Thank you from Pakistan. Thank you. Get some rest, my friend. Yeah, well, see, I decided to stay. Now, transparency, my wife does 90% of the heavy lifting with the kids. And that's because, you know, I'm doing, most of the day I'm locked in my office and I'm trying to create content, put out the podcast, create videos, trying to conquer the world from the bedroom office. And that's how we pay our bills. So she frees me up 90% of the time I'm free. So this is a rare occasion for me, which is why I was enjoying it. But there's a point that I can't do this. Can't do it both at the same time. Let me qualify that. I can do my kids all day long. I couldn't answer the complicated questions at the same time. Let me be sure I put that on the record. Um, Pasco County, Florida's in the house. Angry Pet. Yeah, this is company. I love it. I love it. Um, let's see. Questions have slowed down a little bit, but that's cool. I think we've answered everything, right? We just vibing at it for just vibing for a little while. So it's really cool. What happened with Robin? Let me go back up. Somebody sent some condolences. Um, oh, Robin, I'm so sorry. Uh, she's lost two family members to COVID. That's when it was clear. Like when I saw how Donald Trump handled COVID-19, I was like, whoever wins the primaries, he's got to go. When I saw how Donald Trump cracked down on the George Floyd protests, particularly when he did that photo op in Washington, D.C., and they used flashbangs and tear gas to clear Lafayette Square for him to go take a photo op in front of a church in the most fascistic sense imaginable. That's when I was like, oh, hell, I got to vote for Biden. But most recently, when he killed um, Michael Reinhold, a comrade, a socialist comrade, and was bragging about it, I'm like, it doesn't matter what we have to do, he's got to be stopped. I'm just showing you the progression. But now that Ruth Bader Ginsburg is gone and he's going to get all these appointments, we're talking about decisions that are happening right now that are going to affect the lives of my children for the next 50 years. Trying to get some consistent lighting. So you add on COVID-19, the crackdown on the George Floyd protests, the killing of Michael Reinhold, and now Ruth Bader Ginsburg. I mean, whatever I got to do, we got to get rid of that man. Is that Arkansas, AK? Donald Trump is straight up a fascist. He absolutely is. Voting for Biden is a means to an end. It sucks. I agree. I don't know. I don't know the answer to this question. Nina Turner should lead. Hello, somebody. Nina Turner is a beast. Love Nina Turner. She's the truth. Yeah, he was just Donald Trump. To answer this one, don't forget he was straight up bragging about Ali Velshi being shot. I was watching that live when that happened. Absolutely out of control. How do you defeat hypernationalism? How do you defeat hypernationalism? You only defeat hypernationalism in the same way you defeat other things like greed. Because hypernationalism, I think, is a part of those ideas that will never go away. And the reason they'll never go away is because you'll always have people who understand how much political power they can get from playing into certain ideas. So long as a person can conceive of nationalism and then see the political value of hyper-nationalism, you're going to always have somebody who will weaponize hyper-nationalism, just like they weaponize bigotry and racism at different times. So the question of how we've defeated is unfortunately like a really lofty philosophical answer. We're going to have to regularly beat it, first and foremost. You're going to have to regularly cleanse society, and I don't mean purge society. I mean it's like a routine cleaning. It's a maintenance, a current, an ongoing thing of getting rid of nationalism, hyper-nationalism, getting rid of greed, getting rid of racism. Because as soon as you get rid of it, somebody else is like, if I appeal to nationalists, I can get political power. And there comes hyper-nationalism all over again. The answer is a fully, as close as possible to a fully maturated society in terms of society's got to grow up. Society has to be educated, have a political education that is that is deeply rooted in the history of our mistakes, and have learned the lesson without having to live through the lesson over and over again of what happens when hypernationalism gets in power. Like, we got to be able to learn through books from the mistakes of the past, because if we don't, then we're going to repeat it over and over and over again. And while I know we're going to always have to do some maintenance, getting rid of these type of things over and over and over again, I also know that we don't have to make the same exact mistakes, right? We don't have to get rid of the same. At least make them work harder. At least make the fascists have to be more creative 50 years from now than they are right now. Because what's happening right now is Donald Trump is literally playing the exact same fascistic playbook that Hitler did. Exact same playbook, just a different target. The primary target of Donald Trump's fascism are immigrants. And this is the sixth thing that made me say, okay, no matter what we got to do, we got to get rid of Donald Trump, because of the forced sterilizations that are taking place in these concentration camps that we're calling detention centers. So I'm sorry, Donald Trump is on the same exact trajectory as Hitler, just a different target. And we can't wait to see if it comes to fruition and say, like, 5 years from now, we discover that there are mass graves at these detention centers. And what I'm saying is, it's like, as a society, if we can't learn from the mistakes of the past through books and conversations and dialogue and discourse as a collective society, this is why what he's doing with the 1796 Commission is so dangerous. What he's attempting to do is co-opt our complete ability. Donald Trump is trying to co-opt our complete ability to understand society through the lens of America's mistakes. Because what are America's mistakes? Slavery, white supremacy, Jim Crow, income inequality, the Gilded Age, internment of Japanese people during World War II, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, military coups across the globe, imperialism, capitalism. Those are America's mistakes. And if you take away our ability to learn a perspective about life from the history through books, then you give a free-for-all for fascists to come in and run the same easy as playbook they've been running generation after generation. So the esoteric, philosophical, and more robust answer is, how do we stave off hypernationalism? Is by creating a more informed society where people have a perspective on life that is rooted in learning from the mistakes of our past, so that people who are ambitious and want to gain political power, at a minimum, we're not going to be able to stop them from trying, but we can stop them from running the same playbook, so that a person in 25 years, when they're looking and listening to a demagogue 25 years from now, they instantly connect what that demagogue is saying to what Donald Trump said to get us where we are now. And that person 25 years from now can have a perspective on life that's rooted in education, and not be open to an idea that history has already proven to be detrimental to so many people and destructive to society in general. But if the 1776 Commission wins, then that person 25 years from now is going to think that America has never done anything wrong, that society is better off because of Western civilization, and Western civilization never did anything wrong. That's the real answer. It is a very difficult answer, and I'm naive enough to think that there is a better society in the future coming that is rooted in that type of historical perspective, versus having to learn the same mistake over and over and over and over again. Let's go. Let's get some more questions. Do you think Schumer has the guts to push for stacking the courts? I think the question really is, has he had enough? The question is how, no, the real question is, has Chuck Schumer been engaging in good faith with the people? Now, engaging in good faith does not necessarily mean you are correct, because you could be engaging in good faith and be wrong. This is what I mean. If Chuck Schumer has been honestly engaging in good faith, and by that I mean he has actively been trying to, from his perspective, do the right thing, which is, from his perspective, respecting the institutions, trying to be bipartisan, trying to find some common ground, all that kind of stuff. If he's genuinely been doing that in good faith, and the opposite, the other option is that he's just kabuki theater, that he's controlled opposition, that he knows exactly what he's doing, and he's not naive enough to think bipartisanship will really work. So he's there complicit with Republicans. If that's not the case, and Chuck Schumer has been engaging in good faith, and he finally has come to the realization that Republicans are malevolent, he'll do a lot more than stack the courts. If he's engaging in good faith, and you, because here's the thing, like a person who's being honest and they're honestly trying to do their best, and then they realize the people they've been trying to work with have been snakes in the grass the entire time, then you will take a person who is kind and gentle and meek, and you turn them into a person like me, who would wade through the ashes of conservatism in order to do the right thing for all people, right? Because I'm idealistic. I'm naive. I am naive into some perspective, right? I think that I give people I used to give people the benefit of the doubt first, and think that everybody was operating with the same motivation that I was. And if Chuck Schumer has been operating in that fashion, and I'll let you decide that, because that's an opinion and everybody has one. But if he's been operating in a genuine fashion, then he should be right this morning sick to his stomach, because he has been naive. And when you make a human being feel like all of their best efforts have been poo-pooed on by somebody who's taken advantage of them, you would turn a person who you thought was a coward into a crusader. And I don't like that phrase, into a warrior. Now, if he just sits by and lets him get away with, then I think he was controlled opposition the whole time. Let's see how it plays out. I don't doubt him. I don't doubt him. Maybe he has been trying to. Maybe he has been trying to. Maybe he thought that bipartisanship was the best representation of America. He thought that all this time. He can't think that shit no more. Not the way Republicans played him. Not the way the Republicans played America. I think every single liberal should be having a come to Jesus moment. I had a come to Jesus moment. This got to be yours. If you thought we could work with conservatives, if you thought they were engaging with us in good faith, if you thought for a second that Mitch McConnell was going to do anything else other than what he did, it's okay. Like I said, I am naive in some respects. Let that infuriate you. Let that radicalize you. Let that make you realize that you cannot be reasonable with unreasonable people. And there will always be people in society who absolutely will take advantage of your kindness in order to grab and maintain political power. And you got to be willing to fight them as hard as they are fighting you. Does that make sense? Question. If Trump loses in November, what do you think the remaining days will be like? Like, how destructive can he be? Laws, executive orders. I think his biggest weapon is his mouth. I think there are some constraints with regards to executive orders and people who carry it out. I mean, he can, like, whatever he can do in terms of executive orders, what matters most are the people who are in charge of implementing it. But what he controls 100% would be what he says, and how he's able to foment violence with his words, and how he is something called stochastic terrorism. And that's where you're not directly responsible for the terrorism, but you're indirectly responsible for it because you said a whole bunch of stuff to a large enough audience where one person got up and did what you said. I think Donald Trump, after the election, is going to undermine our democracy in a way that I don't know how we survive. I think he does that because he can't handle a loss. He does that because his followers can't handle a loss. And we are really seeing the testing of our democracy and our ability to survive an aspiring fascist and an aspiring dictator. This is a stress test on American democracy. If we can survive Donald Trump, then it may bode well for the future of humanity because we can really survive anything. With the asterisk, climate change, right? That's a huge asterisk. Damn, I'm so far behind. Why don't Dems use the same tactics then? The jury is out for me, but it's two things. Some of them are controlled opposite. Some of them are in league, like not just Manchin, but from West Virginia. I think he's just a Republican who ran on a Democratic ticket. I think he's a part of the. I think that there is a consensus in America that transcends party. Not I think I know there is a consensus in America that transcends party. For all intents and purposes, we have one political party, one political consensus that is a neoliberal economic political consensus, capitalist, and a imperialist, a neoconservative imperialist foreign policy consensus that is consistent across both parties. This is factual. This is actually, political science that backs this up. Because if you look at the policy decisions that are made, we don't waver on military spending. We don't waver on our military bases abroad. We don't waver on, no matter who's in office, we don't waver on capitalism. So to that end, I think Democrats don't play the same way Republicans play because they want some of the same outcomes. At the same time, I think that there are some Democrats there who want different outcomes, and they go into it with a level of naivete that it takes them time to learn a hard lesson. And so they think the most noble thing that you can do is fight on behalf of somebody that you politically disagree with, right? Anybody ever seen the movie American President with Michael Douglas? It was a very neoliberal movie, one of my favorite movies. So I've been properly indoctrinated by neoliberalism. But one of the most significant statements from that movie is the idea that we should fight on behalf of someone else's rights just as hard as we fight on behalf of our own rights, especially if we disagree with them. For many Democrats, that's their way of thinking. That makes it problematic when it's time to fight dirty. The other thing is people like President Obama. President Obama had too much respect for American institutions. He absolutely was not going to undermine American institutions in any form or fashion. The most important thing to President Obama is making sure that we have civility, decorum, and respect for America's institutions. Republicans don't. Republicans won't fight for our rights the way we will fight for their rights. Those are the two reasons Democrats don't do it. Three reasons. One, they're controlled opposition. Those that are not controlled opposition, they believe it's the most noble statement of their character to fight on behalf of other people that they disagree with. And then two, the third one is they have too much respect for the institutions. Three vulnerabilities. Republicans will not fight for our rights the same way we fight for their rights. Republicans do not, if they're controlled opposition, then that makes sense, right? They will not fight for our rights the way we fight for the rights. Number three, Republicans don't care about the institutions. They will break every norm, every institution to get political power. I think we see that now. The long answer to your short question is that if we don't get people on our side who will do the dirty thing for the right reason, then evil will always win. And when I say our side, I don't mean Democrat. I mean people who are fighting for the right reason, fighting for good causes, fighting for marginalized people. If we are not willing to bend the rules in the way they are, they always have the advantage. If we're not willing to challenge institutions in the way that they do, we will always lose. They will always have the advantage. I'm going to move this back because that sun is beating me up. Oh. So anyway, that's the long answer to your short question. Let's see some other questions here. This is the biggest leftist blind spot. I think if you divide leftists up, you got to divide leftists up. Because I tell you who don't have this blind spot. The one I was just talking about, those three things, communists don't have that blind spot. They're crystal clear on controlled opposition. They're crystal clear on not wasting your time fighting on liberal ideas like fighting on behalf of somebody else's rights because they know the enemy is not going to fight on behalf of our rights. And number three, they don't give a damn about institutions, especially if the institutions are standing in the way of progress. So communists are very clear on that. Socialists are pretty. I'm a socialist. I'm pretty clear on that. Democratic socialists get a little, as the spectrum gets closer and closer to the center, the more and more weak they are in terms of knowing that blind spot and working around that blind spot. I think the next left generation of left politicians will put their foot down. Corey Ilhan, AOC, and Tlaib are about that shit. Yeah, yeah. Answer the question about the Electoral College. I missed that question. If somebody can cue it up again, I'll keep my eye out for it. Looks like you're a man of God. Ever heard Trump talk about his daughter? Well, I'm not going to talk about Trump talking about his daughter in a perverted fashion. I don't consider, I used, whatever. Yeah, I'm a man of faith. I am. Um, Bernie is great. Let me tell you about Bernie. I don't know if his weakness was his kindness, but I think I can identify with Bernie in this regard. Bernie literally had the power in his hands to not necessarily burn this whole thing down, but to divide the Democratic Party by jumping off the Democratic Party and going to starting a third party, going to the Green Party. The reason I understand why he didn't do that is because when you are a person who has the responsibility and the capacity to trigger systemic changes on a level that reverberate for generations to come, that's a hell of a lot of responsibility to fall on one man. And if I know Bernie the way I think I know Bernie, and it's not so much as I know Bernie as I know me, that's a big gamble. It's a big gamble in a year 2020 when you have Donald Trump as the opposition and fascism knocking at the door. It takes a lot to be willing. This light over my chin is kind of bugging me out. I don't I don't think I could personally be in a position where I could clear a pathway for Donald Trump to win. That's a huge gamble. I think Bernie looked at the situation and said, I feel like the most important thing is to get rid of Donald Trump. Not my personal ambition, not my personal fight against neoliberalism in the Democratic Party, but to get rid of Donald Trump. And if he had decided to go third party, I don't think that decision to not go third party was about his kindness. And I think the question was really probably talking about in terms of his disposition and debates and whatnot. But I'm talking about the bigger, broader picture in terms of like, why wouldn't he fight dirty and take the Democrats out by splitting the party? It's because he felt that urgency of what's happening around us right now, and that doing that would have cleared a path for Donald Trump. And I don't think he could have lived with that guilt of clearing a path for Donald Trump to get a second term. And I agree with him. I agree with him. Let me scroll back up about the question because I asked him to put it in here again, and I want to see if I missed the question about the Electoral College. Um, yeah, no, I know communists have clear eyes in terms of the situation. Thank you. I love doing the work. Okay, so here's Nash. She's saying answer the question about the Electoral College. I'm just scrolling down to see if I missed it. They are controlled opposition for sure. Don't get her started about Manchin. Time to amend the horse and buggy institution of the Supreme. Let's see. Time to amend the horse and buggy institution. Boy, that looked like my uncle for a second. I had to see if this was one of my cousins, but no. Um, Institutions of the Supreme Court and the crappy Electoral College. Time to take them unionism to the trades, work that magic, and that admits women, blacks, and the rest of us into the Constitution. Okay, cool. I agree with that. Every bit of that. His strength is his weakness. Oh, you mean like the statements like my friend Joe? Now, Nerdy Gamer 000. In that regard, yes. Like, listen, his now. Okay, yeah, I answered a different question. You were asking in terms of like the Democratic primaries. I was answering in terms of why he didn't go third party. I think it's probably the same thing. I would just answer the wrong thing. He is too nice in that he was not going to go for blood against the Democrats. We do need someone further to the left of anybody in the Democratic Party who will politically disembowel every single person on that stage and fight Democrats as hard as conservatives fight liberals and progressives. What makes a third party so poisonous? I don't think it's poisonous. Is it Divergers? Duverger's law. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. I know it's spelled Durvergers. Duverger's law. And if I'm pronouncing it wrong, don't laugh at me. It's been 10 years since I was in my master's program. But it just talks about our representative democracy, how it naturally leans itself towards a two-party system. And that even with a third party in the equation, it ultimately leads back to one of the two major parties. I think we need a parliamentarian system. I think one of the most important things that we could do is to create a parliamentary system in this country that would give us the ability to remove the chief executive. Like London has snap elections, vote of no confidence, and they can get rid of a prime minister instantly. I think it's absurd that we are stuck with Donald Trump through this pandemic until January. If we had a parliamentarian system, we could have called a snap, and the parliamentarian system actually absolutely leans itself towards a multi-party system. I think they suffer from some of the same effects that are similar to Diverger's law, in that they still have two major parties, but the coalitions that are built from their parliamentarian system allows them to have more concessions as a third party, fourth party, fifth party. Because if, let's say, the Labour Party in the UK needs to build a coalition in order to get the majority to appoint the prime minister and govern and be the majority party, then they're going to have to capitulate to the Green Party or to whatever other party. I know enough to be conversant about UK politics, but I can't tell you another party. Um, so a parliamentarian system here in the United States of America would lean itself more to coalition building, which means the two major parties would have to give some concessions to the smaller parties, because that's the only way they get enough power to choose the prime minister. But most importantly, I think this year has shown how utterly absurd it is for us to permanently install for a 4-year period a chief executive of this country when a crisis comes and that executive shows that they are completely unable to manage that crisis to the point that they cost us 200,000 lives. We needed a snap election to get rid of Donald Trump, to put in somebody right away so that we could have an effective person to manage the crisis of COVID-19. Lisa says she's an expert. Let me scroll up and see what she said. Let me see if you had any good insights for it. Same as Australia. Okay, you agree. You said preach, so you agree with me. Okay, cool, cool. I had an expert sign off of what I said. Okay, I feel good. I feel better now. I can answer this question really well, and I hope I don't make any enemies. But if I do, so be it. I understand why Greens struggle with increasing their visibility. Literally, just copy DSA strategies. Well, actually, you answered the question yourself, right? One thing I have a problem with on the national level of the Green Party, I think the Baltimore chapter of the Green Party is actually pretty effective from all indications of everything I've seen. But on the national level, do you ever hear from the Green Party except for election year? That's their problem. I think this is a good point. Bree Midnight. Bernie lost his entire family on his dad's side during the Holocaust. He wouldn't want other people to suffer that same fate, especially for his grandchildren. And he wouldn't want to be the individual, the flashpoint in history, who is responsible for um, leading us on the road to neo fascism. Bernie personally could have literally been responsible for Donald Trump winning in a landslide because if he had went third party, he definitely would have pulled. He might have even pulled me. To be honest with you, probably would. I be quite frank with you. If he went third party, I probably would support Bernie Sanders in a third party bid. And because he knows that, he said, "I'm not going to do that because not out of respect and deference to the Democratic Party, maybe because Joe's his friend, so maybe." But I think more than anything else is he does not want to be the person in history books responsible for empowering Donald Trump for a second term, leading us to the march towards fascism. I wouldn't want to be. So I would personally have fallen on my sword in the same fashion that Bernie Sanders did, because to him personally, it is more important for him not to allow Donald Trump to get a second term because we see the clear indicators of fascism coming to America in a very strong fashion in the form of Donald Trump. And they treat him that way anyway. That's the kicker. Sometimes you do the right thing and you get screwed for it. Personal legacy is not congruent. Well, personal legacy is not congruent with not me, us. I think it's very, in this case, I think it is 100% congruent with not me, us, saying it's not me, I lost, and I'm going to step aside. It's us. Because if I don't step aside, all of us are screwed. So it's very not me, us. We've got a conservative in here. Donald Trump did and will win again by a landslide. Donald Trump didn't win by a goddamn landslide. Get the hell out of here. It's funny. All right, folks. Now, I'm hoping I hit my goal for Twitch. I needed 3 hours, and I think we have been streaming for like 3 hours a day. It's time. I really enjoy this. I really enjoy hanging out with you guys and talking with you and getting to know you, recognizing you, seeing your faces, um, getting to know some of you by name. And I don't know how often we'll do this. Maybe once a month, once every 2 months. I don't know. But I really had a good time. So this is the last stream of the day. Do me a favor before we go. Everybody hit that like button. Um, and everybody cross pollinate. Go follow me on Twitch. Go follow me on YouTube. Um, you can follow me on Twitter. That's cool. And vice versa. Go cross pollinate. And go play with them kids. That's my instructions. Go play with them kids. See y'all later. Take care.